this is Zach Chen. Welcome back to this video channel. Today we're going to talk about this statement. It's called failure builds winners, but failure also destroys losers. Let me repeat again. Failure builds winners, but failure also destroys losers. Now, don't get me wrong, okay, there's no negative connotation to this statement, but we are just trying to broadly categorize in general two groups of people: the winners, which are people who have a higher chances of achieving success, and losers, people who have a higher chance of not achieving success. Alright. So back to the statement, okay, failure builds winners, but failure also destroys losers. Now let's start with the second half of the statement. Now, why failure has a higher chance of destroying losers? Now, to this group of people who have a higher chance of failing and not succeeding, okay, to them, each failure may come across as more like a judgment of their capabilities. So people who are what we call losers, okay, typically treat each failure as a very serious judgment of their ability. Okay, it's a very serious judgment of their person, okay, as a whole, and as a very serious judgment on their value in society, for example. Okay, or some of them might view failure very importantly as like a death sentence to their future. Okay, so if someone were to be adopting this kind of perspective where failure is a do or die, and then if they were to fail, it will be forever, it's an eternal labor on them, this has a very vicious negative cycle in effect on this person if he chooses to treat failure as such. Because by choosing to view failure as this way, basically they are viewing failure as a close-ended like a signpost saying that, hey, once failure happens, you plant the signpost and then that's it, life is gone. Alright, there's no more hope, and there's despair, sadness, and a lot of drop in the confidence of the person. Okay, so this is why we say that failure destroys losers. Okay, people who choose to regard failure as being a judgment and a death sentence will never be able to truly succeed. Okay, because of the fact that they view failure as such a close-ended thing. Okay, now on the other hand, okay, failure builds winners. Now, winners are groups of people who actually always view failure as part and parcel of a journey of getting better. Alright, like the great Bruce Lee, okay, the martial artist and also actor. Okay, Bruce Lee mentioned before that, you know, what's so big deal about failure, right? Failure is just part and parcel about getting better. So nobody gets better without failing. Okay, if you have never failed, basically you have never tried. Which this is a very wise statement as well. So for winners, they regard failure as more like a report card. You know, like as a young boy, young girl, okay, in school, you receive your report card, and every time you have a test, the report card will say, hey, you know, you have scored an A, or you scored a C, or you scored an F. And then what are the things, you know, the teacher will put on across your test. The crosses are the areas that you are weak in, and then you deduct marks for those, and then the ticks are those that earn you points, which means that you're good in those. So rightfully, by looking at the report card, okay, you will know which are the areas that you can work on, that you can spend more time to brush up your skills on, your knowledge on, and spend more time and effort, and then make those crosses into ticks. Alright, so failure to winners will be regarded as a very valuable opportunity each time they fail, because it tells them exactly where they can work on, so that to avoid the same kind of mistakes or errors again. And if you fail enough, alright, if you try enough times and you fail enough times, and you come back, okay, having made corrections, okay, for what you have done and failed in the past, that will ultimately lead you to becoming better and better each time, after each time you fail. Okay, so for winners, alright, they regard failure as a very valuable opportunity, and also, of course, it is also very important that they view it as a chance for them to make corrections, to identify the mistakes, to make corrections, and also to become better and better each time, and not to make the same mistakes again. Okay, so that's essentially the difference between winners so-called, and losers, okay, which is their way of viewing failure. So I hope that you benefit from the sharing today, that failure builds winners, but failure also destroys losers. Okay, and hopefully you can be able to bring this wisdom into your life and make a difference to the way you perform. Alright, for more free and awesome content, be sure to subscribe to this channel, and also visit myhappyfeet.com, myhappyfeat.com, for more content that help you to reach your potential and also to lead a more happy and fulfilling life. This is Zack Chen signing off. Bye bye.